Hi, this is High School Survival 1. I'm going to try and get this done properly, but my cord is having issues today, so if it cuts out, sorry about that. It might cut out a couple times, and I'll just try and start over right where I left off. No one's home right now, so I'm just going to do this at regular volume here. I'm going to be talking about computers after shtf today. They can be useful. There's plenty of things you can do with them. So I'm going to start with an alternative that I think you should look into first, and that's books. I'm not going to get too much into this, but essentially I've got quite a few things here. This thing is from about 90, I think it's 94, and I'm just going to show you the first page and some of the chapters here. Yeah, 91, sorry. Lots of chapters, just everything from plumbing, electrical, fasteners, just building, just in general, there's furniture, and emergency repairs. So we've got just what to do in case of different disasters, shutting off power, water, and gas, fixing a leaky roof, a broken window, frozen pipes, it's all in here, clogs, blackouts, leaks. So just something to look into. No heat, no air conditioning. So just one of these complete do-it-yourself things. I don't know if this is by Reader's Digest. I don't know if anything like this is still out there, but you can usually get how-to books. And then just some stuff about wiring. This one's got some nice diagrams in it. Upgrading and repairing PCs, even though it's from 1994. The basic concepts are still the same. You know, if your hard drive dies back then, it's going to have some of the same issues it would have if your hard drive dies now. So another good one to have, especially if you're talking about keeping computers. I have a bunch of these electronic projects books from Radio Shack, and although, well, some of the projects might be useful, but although the projects themselves are in general not very useful, for shtf, the knowledge of electronics that gives you, because it describes what different parts mean. There's a resistor coding chart, and you know, that kind of stuff hasn't changed really at all. Plumbing, stuff about swimming pool. Some of this isn't even so much survival stuff, it's just how-to stuff. But it's just good to have. A little library. I have a bunch of other things, and then these are from the Home Time people. Apparently they endorse these. That's just plumbing, electrical, and fixing leaks and clogs. More good things to have, and that's about it. I don't know what this is doing here. It's just an old Anderson Windows catalog from when we got new Windows a while ago. Now let's get to the computers, which is the major point of this. Now, first and foremost, I'll start with the obvious. You need to have power. Your computer is completely useless if you don't have somewhere to plug it in or recharge it. I have solar panels, and I also have a generator and a little bit of gas stored up for that. We'd probably be primarily running the computer or laptop on the solar panels, because we'll have plenty of energy left over from that. I've sized the system for that. So you need a way to power it. It's just useless otherwise. And you also need a way to back up your data, because post shtf there's going to be no online data backup or off-site backup. You're going to need to be your own backup system. So let's go through here. Obviously, DVDs and CDs are good, but I have so many problems with DVDs and CDs. I don't really like them. I think they hate me or something, but I can never get them to work properly. So I use floppy disks all the time. It seems silly, but these things are great. I love these. They're cheap. They're easy to get. External hard drive. This is, I think, an 60 or 80 gig. And then these are actually slides to keep pictures on. You can still get slides. That way you don't have to have a digital format that can get a virus or something like that. So good to have that. I'm trying to go quickly through this here so we can get to the meat of this. Now, yeah, we'll get started. Oh, videotapes too. Another cheap way of keeping videos instead of having to get lots of storage space on a hard drive. And then these PDAs, you can get these for 15, 20 bucks on eBay. This is an old Palm tungsten. I can't tell if that's an I or an L. But regardless, it's from around 2000 or so, and sorry about that. Tungsten. I just can't read that in the viewfinder here. Tungsten E, there we go. But even though it only has around 20 or 30 megabytes of storage, that's a lot of Word documents or PowerPoint presentations or Excel spreadsheets. So even though it doesn't have a lot of storage space, it's a good, cheap way to back up some important files. And then you could stick this in your Faraday cage or whatnot if you're worried about EMP, and then you have a little tiny computer with all your important documents on it. $20 or so. We actually had this. We didn't buy it. I just found it. And flash drives, obviously, I don't have one on me right now, but that's another cheap way to back up data, and you can keep those in a Faraday cage. Now, CDs and DVDs wouldn't be affected by an EMP or solar flare or anything like that, but they're still physically breakable. So you have to watch it. You can't be touching the other side, the readable side, doing that kind of thing, because you might ruin it. Now, another thing is you need to have all your all your software backed up. So running on this is Windows 7. Running on this thing is Windows XP, so I have my disk here. And I have every Windows, I collect old computer stuff, so I have every Windows and MS-DOS version, starting from the very first MS-DOS all the way through Windows 7. I have them all somewhere. I have floppy disks, I have Windows 1, Windows 3, and 2, and the whole works. So I have backups for pretty much any PC you can throw at me. I don't do Macs, so this is all I have. And then for my desktop in my room, I have Windows 7 Professional. We also have backup disks for our Vista and for this dinosaur. Oh, no, that's not the dinosaur. That's the dinosaur. That's our Windows 3.11. But this old XP thing we also have disks for. So you want to have your backup disks, and not just your operating system. You need your you need your software too. Your programs, your Office programs, any whatever video editing. I don't know what you're planning on doing after the stuff hits the fan with a computer. So that's a personal choice. It depends on your preferences. If you want to keep a spreadsheet of your food stores, you might want to hang on to an older copy of Microsoft Office. And I say that you should prefer anything pre-Windows XP, because then first of all, there's no activation, none of that activation crap. You can install it. You don't have, Microsoft wouldn't be around to activate it for you. So, also that's where this comes in. This is just a live boot Ubuntu. Comes with a number of programs, video editors. It comes with OpenOffice built in and everything. Built-in web functionality. Firefox is on there. You just put it in your DVD drive and boot up. It's an operating system on a DVD. That's all it is. That's perfect, because then this will not get damaged by an EMP. I will no matter what, always have a working operating system that I know will work, no matter what. So, another thing just unrecommended, that was maybe, I think it cost me about $2, most of that being shipping on eBay. So, I use it every now and then when I have to fiddle around inside specific things on my computer where it'd be a little weird to do it in Windows. And then just DVDs, and then there's one thing here. Is it in here? Some of these disks. There's a bunch of my backup disks in here too that I've made from computers like Windows Vista. The computers have sometimes when you buy a new computer, it'll have an option to make a backup disk, and that's what that is. I have another Windows XP in here somewhere. I think it's this disk. I need to label these. Yeah, just on the side here, label your disks. Don't make the same mistake I have, because I'm constantly digging through my disks and I never know what's what. So don't make the same mistake I did. But I'm pretty sure this one, this is maybe a little touchy issue here, but on this disk, I have a program that will activate your Windows without contacting Microsoft. Now, I know it's illegal, but I never use it. I always activate legally. I just have this sitting around. I don't think I've ever used it even. I just have it sitting in my disk stores. If something were to happen, and Microsoft probably wouldn't be around if something hit the fan, I need a way to reactivate it, and this is one way you can do it. Another way that I would like to do is you can, there's some files on there, and don't quote me on this because I'm not sure, but there's some files in your system files that if you save them onto a USB disk or floppy or DVD or whatever, when you have to reinstall your operating system, you just stick those back in and it will activate it. But that's only if you're reinstalling on the same computer. So that particular way is not illegal in the slightest. It's the same computer, it's only one installation, but I need to look that up so I can get off of this thing. But it just sits around waiting for something to happen, and I never use it, don't worry, but so that's just kind of an in case. I've got another, this is just a backup from this is actually the backup, this is the XP backup I made off this thing. So these are just a few thoughts, just to summarize it: backup, 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 and you'll need power for your computer. Now just quickly, I'm going to mention kind of what I've done. This partially is what I've done. And then I also have two old laptops. I'm talking mid to late 90s. Well, there's one from around 2001 also. There's two from pre-1995, and then there's one from about 2001. I keep them in the Faraday cage. They still work, and I keep a couple things saved on there, some programs on there. I keep the power supplies in there, and I keep an inverter in there. So I will always have some computer, and I keep some data backed up in there and stuff like that. And I have two whole desktop computers in there. Not the case or anything, but I have all of the inside parts: the motherboards, the cards, the video card, USB, whatever, network card. And I have networking stuff in there and all that. And you could set up a communication network if you had enough computers. You could set up communications between them should the need arise. As we've seen in Egypt and Libya, these dictators are shutting down the internet, so that'd be an excellent time for anyone there to drag out their old dial-up modems and their old pre-internet networking days, and you could easily set up some communications with things like that. Even if it's just basic text communications or a full-blown intranet between cities. Thinking really long-term here, but it's good for that. And you can obviously keep spreadsheets or whatever on this, or even a record of just what's going on. Someday things might return to normal, and you might, I don't know, have a book or something. So there's definitely a couple possibilities with this, and security monitoring. You can use old webcams and such, hook them up to the computer, and then you have a little video surveillance system. You can get extension USB cables and the like, and that would be another highly useful application. So I'm just going to sign off now. Hope I gave you some things to think about. I haven't seen a video about the usage of computers on YouTube yet. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.